What's up guys, welcome back to Grafting Dragon Fruit. It's Richard, and in this video today I'm going to show you guys how to protect your dragon fruit from extreme hot weather. And in California, I've been having really intense temperatures that are rising up to 100 to 105 Fahrenheit. That is so hot, you guys. So I'm going to show you guys what I did to protect them and help them not to get scorched so much by the sun. So here I have Vietnam white. And I was only 1 day late, you guys, to put up this umbrella here, mainly because I didn't even have enough umbrellas because we were not expecting weather to be this hot in California. It is not typical for us to get to 100 degrees and have it for longer than 4 to 5 days. It usually comes for 1 to 2 days, and the dragon fruits can normally take that, but when they're exposed to extreme hot weather like that, for a long period of time, they will start to turn yellow and even have sun blisters. Then they will get cooked and all of the branches will just become mush. So if you guys come check out this branch here, let me move this. That is a great example of what happens when they are exposed to extreme heat. It got cooked, so now it's becoming mush. And check that out, you guys. It's basically rotted, and now the flesh of this is just gonna disintegrate and become just the become the camion layer here. So let me just show you guys all of that mush that's in there. It even has a smell to it that just smells like it's rotted. So what I have to do is later I'm gonna have to cut this branch out because it is no longer good. If you guys have branches that are half sun blister, half yellow, and majority greenish, they can still stay. But if you guys just don't like that look and it's not aesthetically pleasing, you guys can go ahead and just take that branch off completely. But if you have a branch that is like this and has a fruit on it, let it finish fruiting before you guys take that branch off because it will still be fine. If you have a branch that looked like that with no fruit and just kind of got destroyed, feel free to take it out. But what I was using to protect them after that sun heat came was these umbrellas here. So I have many different types of umbrellas, just not one kind. I have beach umbrellas. These are event umbrellas that we use to just, have parties and stuff like that. And I even use a 10 by 10 canopy to cover them. So it's been helping actually a lot. If I did not put this up at the time that I did, majority of this would be more yellow and I would have way more damaged branches, which can potentially set me back so much that it's gonna be very sad. Once you come out here and have to clean things up, your plant is just gonna look destroyed. So that is Vietnam white, you guys. It's a little bit sensitive to the sun, but if you put some shade on it, it will be fine. Here is another one that got beat up by the heat. This is Townsend pink. And as you can see, Townsend pink has been really, really productive with producing fruits. And it's actually a very high producer. If you guys don't see, there's only 1 cutting in here. I usually have 4 cuttings per variety. And this is just a Townsend pink cutting that I have that I'm just leaving here for it to root. But in here is only 1 cutting and it's producing me all of these fruits here. So Townsend pink is a very, very productive fruiter. But even Townsend pink can get sun scorch, sun blisters, and look at that, you guys. So here, the branch really took a beating here. So if you guys see this, what I do is if you want to save this branch, just go ahead and break this. And then you're going to want to take a knife, scalpel, or something sharp and just cut this part out and let it dry up. And then the green part will stay green. And this part will eventually scab up and just become something like this. So this is a branch that got sunburnt last year. And as a last ditch effort, I went ahead and took a scalpel and I kind of did surgery on it, which I cut off all of that yellow, mushy sun blister part off, and I cleaned it with a napkin and let it dry out. And once you do that, it's just gonna callus over. The branches that are green still stays green, they're still healthy, and they still can produce fruits. So here is the example right here, guys. This one got sun scorched last year. I cleaned it up, made it like it never happened, basically slapping a band-aid on it. But this year it produced me a fruit, so I'm very happy with that. I may keep this branch so that it can keep on producing fruits, or if I just want to clean this up to make it look brand new again, I might take it off. But for now, it has fruits on it, so we're going to go ahead and leave that branch alone, okay? So that is Townsend Pink. Over here is Sugar Dragon. Sugar Dragon is one of my favorite varieties, mainly because they just fruit all summer long. They start to produce fruits as early as March, and they don't stop producing fruits until the end of October. So as you guys can see, look at how many fruits of Sugar Dragon I have. There is so many, and they're all at different stages. I have ones that are, you know, green, they're still ripening. I have new flower buds here that are just barely popping out. I have some fruits that are basically ready for harvest. I've been really like harvesting them at this color where they're majority red, but you will see lots of green tint on it. And for me, the flavor just tastes so much better when I harvest Sugar Dragon at this stage, because it has a nice acid, a tart, and the texture is really firm. It's not like mushy where when you take off the skin, it breaks with it. So I recommend you guys, if you guys have Sugar Dragon, to harvest them a little early and green and watch how good they can be. But about the sun scorch, it did not get any blisters, so Sugar Dragon did take the heat pretty well, but it did get a little sunburnt here. So you can see all of this yellow part here is just from having too much heat exposure on it for a very long time. Like I said, if I was just one day early and provided them with the shade, none of this, or a little bit of this, would be here, but not so much where you're looking at it and you're just like, what happened to Sugar Dragon? But it is okay that this happens, you guys. As long as it's not blistering or turning into a soft mush where it's rotting itself, then they can heal themselves. Sugar Dragon has gone through many of these heat waves where they turn yellow like this. I'll move it to an area that's more cool and even provide them with some umbrella for extra shade. And over time, they will slowly turn all back to green. And you guys see this now, remember this, because one day I'll just do an update to show you guys how Sugar Dragon is gonna slowly help itself and turn itself back to all green. And that's why dragon fruits are so cool to grow, you guys. They're resilient, they're self-sufficient, they can heal themselves without any help. All you have to do is basically provide them more shade and they will heal on their own without any help, okay guys? So that's the cool thing about dragon fruit, and if they go through heat wave, it's not a deal breaker. You can still continue to have them growing, and just check out how much fruits I have here, you guys. And we are also having some flowers that's gonna bloom tonight, so that's very cool. Here's a Sugar Dragon flower that's gonna open tonight, and I just gotta make sure that I come out here to pollinate them so that way they can become a successful fruit. All right, guys, we're gonna go over to my main area here where they get a lot of sun. So this one has an avocado tree right on top of it, but it was still not enough to help it from getting sunburned. Usually this trellis here would never get sunburnt and you would never see any yellowing on it. But because this heat wave that we have is so extreme and is happening for so long, I think we're having 4 to 5 days of 100 degrees temperature this whole week. And that is so damaging for dragon fruit. If you don't provide shade quick enough, you're gonna get minor sunburns like this. But this is very, very minor. Something like this, I wouldn't even be concerned about or provide shade, but because I've never had to deal with temperature that's over 100 degrees for this long, I just wanna make sure, so I provide them with umbrellas. So these are the cool event umbrellas. They come with a weight here. So if I need to move them at any time, let's say that another one of my dragon fruit is having more sun exposed to it, and this one now has a lot of shade, I can always pick this up, you guys, and bring it to the next area and cover them with shade. So that's the cool thing about these type of umbrellas. Here is one that I did not put umbrella over. Let me just move this back, you guys. This variety here is G2. We have Costa Rica Recensis and Natural Mystic. I have this orange tree up here that I thought is enough shade for him, but it was only enough shade for the half back of my trellis. If you look at everything in the front, it looks like it got beat up, you guys. So these branches here, sun scorched, dehydrated, and basically cooked. If you leave a fruit like a fig or a date outside in this heat, they will dry into like a prune and become like a date, right? So that's essentially what's happening to these branches. They're just getting so dehydrated. They're becoming like crispy branches that are being cooked by the sun, almost fried almost. It's really crazy. So that was my little experiment of like, let's see if they can take the sun without any umbrella by just having some natural shade. No, definitely provide extra shade if you guys can. Here are my beach umbrellas. Let me just move this one up. All right. So these are beach umbrellas that I got at Walmart. They are very cheap. You can find them for $10 to $18 sometimes, but during the summertime, they do sell out, but you can always order them online. So you guys, I will leave all of this umbrellas in my description, so if you guys want to purchase them, they'll be right there for you guys to find, and you can get the exact ones that I'm using. But I love these ones is because if you guys look, the beach umbrellas actually have like a corkscrew drive at the bottom where you use them in the sand. So it looks like this. And what I do is I can stick them right in the center of my trellis, and I can use this part to dig it into the sand so that way they're very secured and that way they don't move, because sometimes the wind can pick up and really blow them just like that. You guys just saw that. It moves them everywhere. So having that part really helps secure them from flying away or accidentally falling over and breaking other branches, which has happened to me before. So that's why I'm letting you guys know that little tip. It's very important. Here are some that I was able to save this trellis because they are very sensitive to sun. So this one actually got shade first before I was able to get more umbrellas. But even though just one day of it, check that out, you guys. This is called Cosmic Charlie, and it got beat up. And let's just peel this off so you guys can see all that mush. All of that is sunburnt. It's become mush. It's basically cooked dragon fruit branches. And once you guys remove them and you clean it all up, it's gonna dry up and callus just like the Townsend pink. And then they will still be good branches to fruit. And once you're done with them, you can take them off. Because this one took such a beating, and this one has been repetitively been taking beatings. So here's some of the area that's already been sunburnt. I already took it off, the callus over, as you can see, but it's still successful with growing a nice, beautiful fruit. And once this fruit is ripened, I'm most likely gonna take that branch off. But if you guys don't have many branches and you guys haven't been able to get any fruit yet, you can leave them. So then that way you can get a chance to get a fruit from that branch before you guys clip them off, okay? So we're just moving along here. This is purple haze. I got my desert king here. They're doing fine. The yellow you guys see here is the variegated yellow, so that's not from the sun. And to my surprise, they don't have an umbrella, but I guess enough shade is being provided by my citrus tree, this umbrella, and my neighbor's tree there. I did get some front damage with this where the sun kind of hits here. And just like the other trellis, you guys, it dried up, got really crispy. But as you guys can see, the center is still green. And it doesn't look to a point where it's mushy yet, so I don't have to remove this branch. It's a fruiting branch where I've harvested 2 fruits from this already. So I'm gonna leave this to try to harvest 1 more season of fruits and then remove it, okay? I try to let all of these branches fruit at least 3 times for 3 seasons before I remove them and let the new growth take over. Now you guys are going to an area where I ran out of umbrellas and I had to use a 10 by 10 canopy here. So you can use anything. I've seen people use burlap where they cut burlap and they just make it big enough where it can tarp over the whole trellis, or you can use towels. I've seen people, or myself, when I didn't have enough canopies and umbrellas, I've used towels, white towels, and I just throw right over, and the white towels will help not reflect some of that heat and protect it from direct sunlight. So if you guys don't have umbrellas and you guys are in a pinch like me, use towels or burlap. You guys can get that at Home Depot. It's very easy to find. But if you guys are gonna go out to buy stuff anyways, just check Walmart for some umbrellas. But here, I have so many fruits, you guys, and I definitely did not want the sun to be damaging all these fruits, because when there is too much sun, the fruits can actually get overripe, and the heat can actually make them burst and also cook the flesh of the dragon fruit where they become translucent, and it just kind of ruins your dragon fruit. And because this trellis here has all of the Asunta lineage on there, I had to make sure that I protected this one very well. because I have fruits that are ready to be harvested today, and I'll probably harvest them right after this video in another video, so you guys can watch that and see me harvest all of these Asuntas here. We have Asunta 5 Paco, Sunset Sherbert, Asunta 4, and Asunta 3. So this one, I'm taking a little bit more care for it and treating it as like my baby. If we go over here, you guys, this is Wild Berry Skittles and Asunta 6. Wild Berry Skittles did not like that sun at all. You can see here, all of that yellowing is from the heat exposure. So I knew I had to cover this up right away so that way it can bounce right back. And I also have so many Wild Berry Skittle fruits on here, some that are almost ready to harvest. So I knew that I had to protect this so that way I can harvest my fruit and have them taste the best. But over time, this should all turn back to green. It just gotta cool down, keep this shade up until they start recovering. So that's these two trellis under the canopy. Ecuador Pelora is one of those varieties that they can take heat and cold very well. As you can see, this has no shade, no umbrellas, but somehow managed to not even get a single sunburn on their branches. So this would be a very good variety to make hybrids with, to introduce that hardiness in dragon fruit. So when that sun comes back, it can totally take it without even flinching. So Pelora, I didn't have to cover them at all. Here is Asunta 3. I started a new trellis of this one because I just love the flavor. The look of Asunta 3 looks so tropical and exotic, so I had to add another one because all of my friends and family are always asking me for this variety, so I gotta just make sure I have enough to keep sharing with them. But even though I did not cover them, they didn't take any damage at all. So Asunta 3 is another variety of mine that is taking that extreme heat very well. And to my surprise, they're young cuttings that are just starting to umbrella out. They're not even fully mature branches yet, and they are not taking any heat stress, any heat damage at all, and they're actually still thriving and loving this weather. So that's another cool thing about Asunta 3. This one here is a trellis where I have Asunta 7. So this is an Asunta 7 seedling, and wow, it's only getting bigger and bigger every day. It's not quite ready to harvest yet, but I haven't tasted this variety. There's many variations of Asunta 7 that are out right now, and Edgar Valdivia passed out a lot of the seeds, so there's a bunch that are having fruits, and this is my first one that finally got a fruit, so I'm so excited to finally taste it. And right behind me here is actually a variety that I just created about 2 years ago. And at first I didn't like the variety, but after trying it this year, it is so good. And this variety was created by using Asunta 4 as the mother and Red Laverne as the father. So I can't wait to release this variety to the public. So I'm very excited for this one. It turned out to be very good. So I'm very excited to show you guys that one once it's ready to be released. Over here, we have Pink Laverne, Desert King number 16 from CFA, the Australia variety. But this branch here that's sticking out, this is Pink Laverne. They're getting some sun blisters. Yep, where I can just tear them off, that mush is there. You have stem where it's turning yellow here, but right when you look underneath them, it's all green. So that is an indicator that's telling you guys that it's too hot and that you need to start providing shade. And because it's been so hot, a lot of my fruits here are starting to change color already, which they shouldn't have yet. Usually when it's very hot, the color of the skin will start to change, but then the fruit is not fully ripe. So what's gonna happen is once the sun finally passes over, all of these fruits might be underripe because the colors are changing, but it hasn't fully developed to a mature fruit yet. So I'm gonna decide what I want to do with it once it cools down, to leave it on the branch or just harvest them, maybe if they're ready, because the heat does sometimes make it ripe faster. And I have these DKs over here, these Desert King. They're ripening very nicely. They're getting plumped. The orange color is coming. And this is typically what you guys will see when you guys are growing this variety. They have a nice, vibrant, red, pinkish, orange color to them. And I just love this variety because it tastes amazing, you guys. Here behind me is 2 more Ecuador Pelora trellises. And as you guys can see, no sun scorch happening at all. They're actually thriving very, very well. Over here, I have more beach umbrellas. And it was enough to cover all of my other varieties that are sensitive to the heat. So I have here Wild Berry Skittles, And even though they have the young shoots here, they have been doing very well with very minimal scorching here and getting sunburnt. So having this umbrella is keeping them very happy. They usually would kind of wilt because it's so hot and they're young, so the water in there kind of cooks them a bit, and it takes them a while before they stiffen back up and get big. But providing the shade help them maintain their health, so that way they can continue to keep growing and become a mature canopy where I can start eventually getting fruit soon. Here is a Sunta 6, very minor heat stress here. You can see, and this is the wrinkles I am talking to you guys about. Once it's so hot, they do this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like wrinkles because it's so hot, and it also feels flimsy and like they're just dehydrated. Again, if I provided more shade in this area, it would turn back to itself, but this umbrella is trying to cover two canopies, two trellis here, so that one branch that's sticking out is gonna get a little burnt. Here is red laverne. Red laverne is a little sensitive to sun, but not too much. Even though they turn yellow, they don't get sun blister, but you will eventually get some because if it's hot enough, they will torch itself. But after providing this shade, they're actually turning back to green faster than I expected, because this was way more yellow than this before I put up this umbrella. But after I put the umbrella up, it's been about 2 days, they're already reverting itself and healing itself back to its normal state. And over here in this alley, so let me get out. Over here in this alley here, it's already provided shade between these two houses, my house and my neighbor's house. So they aren't taking much damage at all. This is grape pop, I have orange dwarf and leaf cinnaback. And as you guys can see, they're very lush and green and doing very well. And maybe some yellowing on the top here, but everything on the bottom here looks really good. All of the branches look nice, thick, and healthy. So that is how I've been dealing with this heat wave. And I hope you guys, that is not too late for you guys yet. And if you guys have not already provided some shade to your dragon fruit, go out and do that now. I've gave you guys all the information on how to do that. If you guys don't have umbrellas, towels, and burlaps, if you guys don't even have that, use some canopy, but at least try to cover it with something so that way they can continue to thrive. And when that heat wave is over, you guys can take them off and let them continue to be dragon fruits growing happily. All right, guys. All right, so if you guys enjoyed this video and thought it was helpful, please hit that like button. If you guys have any comments or what I did today, leave in the comments below and I get back to you guys as soon as I can. And if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit it right there so that way you won't miss a single thing. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Grafting Dragon Fruit. Peace.